Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Math, grade 6. We are in model 7, relationships between two variables. Relationships between two variables. Today we want to learn the first lesson. We want to learn relationships between two variables. In this lesson, we want to identify and use independent and dependent variables in relationships. So we want to learn what the meaning of independent and dependent variables and what is the relationships between the two variables.
Relationships between two variables. Teaching notes. Introducing the inquiry question. How can you find the rule for a relationship between two variables? You will use Web Sketchpad to explore this problem. Teaching notes. You can use an input-output machine to discover a hidden rule that takes a number, the input, and gives you another number, the output. Talk about it.
Here, as you see, we have machine. Here we have run machine. Here we have rest. Here we have input. When you put here 2 in this machine, this is the meaning of input. And here we have what? Here we have the answer. Here we have the output. Here we have the output. If you change input, we have the new output. If you change the input, we have here what? The new output. As you see here, the output will be what? Will be 8.
Mister, how do we know if the output is 8?
Now just we want to learn what the meaning of input and output. How to solve it? This is the rule of this machine. This is the rule of this machine. Now wait, just wait to know how to solve it. But if I change here to the F, to the 5. So the input 5, the output will be what? Will be 7. Right, change here, put 7. What's the meaning of 7? This is the input. The number enters to this machine. Right. As you see here, we have what? We have 9. We have 9. So the answer here, this is the output. This is the output. How to change it from 7 to the 9? As you see here, we input 7, we get 9. Means the machine add 2 to the input. The machine add 2. 7 plus 2 equal 9. So the rule to solve the run machine, this is the relationship between input and output. Right, the last example here, suppose we put 0, the run machine. As you see, we get 2. This is the meaning. Input means the value who enters to this machine. Then the machine will add 2 to the input, and we will get 2 here, or the answer. The answer, the name of this answer will be output. So the input or the independent, the same meaning, input or independent. And output dependent. Output means the dependent. So this is the meaning of input, and the rule means the relationship between input and output, and this is the meaning of the output. Right, listen here very well, please.
Identify independent and dependent variables. Teaching notes. In a relationship between two quantities, one quantity is the independent variable and the other quantity is the dependent variable. The independent variable, often called the input, does not depend upon the other quantity. The dependent variable, often called the output, changes in response to the input for the independent variable. Consider the following situation. At top speed, a cheetah can travel about 103 feet every second. The total distance traveled at top speed t is equal to 103 times the number of seconds s. In this situation, the number of seconds is the independent variable and the total distance is the dependent variable because the cheetah depends on the number of seconds it travels. Select the buttons to identify the independent and dependent variables in each situation.
Okay, as you see here, we have the difference between independent variable and dependent variable. So independent variable means the input, and dependent variable means the output, Then the change in response to the input for the independent variables. This is the difference between independent and dependent. Right. Here, as you see here, we have this problem here. Jida earns $5 per hour babysitting. The total amount she earned A. So here we have a variable A. This is the total amount she earned. Is equal to 5 times the hours. Here 5 times the hours, this is the relationship between the input and the output that she babysits. Right. The output here will be what? Will be 5. This is the total. And 5 times the hours, this is the rule. And the hours will be what? The input. So here, independent variable means H. Right. Dependent variable means A. Total amount she earns. The second idea here, at the school store, pencils cost $0.25 each. The total cost C is equal to 0.25 times the number of pencils B purchased. Right. As you see here, we have this number and we have the cost C, and here we have 0.25 times the number. And here 0.25 times the number of the pencils B means this is the rule. This is the relationship between the input and the output. And the input will be B here. Means the independent variable will be the pencils B. The independent variable or the input means pencils B. Right. The dependent variable or the output means the cost C. The cost C. This is the dependent variable. This is the difference between the independent and dependent and the rule between them, or the input and the output and the relationship between them. Use what you know about the terms independent and dependent to explain why the variables are named this way. Who can tell me what is the difference between input and output?
Instead of input, when you put the number 0, the machine will
turn it to 2 because it's give to the number 2 plus 2.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Khalid.
Find dependent variable values in a table. Teaching notes. Suppose you pay 25 cents for each game you play at an arcade. You can use a table to show the relationship between the independent variable, input, and the dependent variable, output. In the table, the input value is the number of games played G, and the rule is 0.25 G. The output is the total cost C. To find the output, replace G with the input, and evaluate the expression.
Okay, this table will explain to us what is the difference between input and output and what is the relationship between them. As you see here, we have table. This table includes 3 columns. The first column, input, or the independent variable. The same meaning, input or independent variable. Here we have number of games played G. Here we have variable. G means number of games. The second column, we have the rule. What is the relationship between the input and output? The rule here, take the number of games G multiply by 0.25. Multiply by 0.25. You will get the cost C. So the cost C means the output, dependent variable. Right, listen here. If I played 5 games, here the cost of one game will be 0.25. So 0.25 times 5 will be the cost 1.25. So the input here 5. The output will be what? 1.25. Right. If I
Mr.
play,
Is this lesson gonna be in the exam?
no, not today.
Okay.
Not the exam of today. This is for the final. If I play 10 games, the cost of each game 0.25. So 0.25 times 10, because I played 10 games, will be what? Will be 2.5. So I will pay $2.5. Right. If I play 15 games, the cost of each game 0.25. 0.25 times 15. I will use here calculator to solve the answer. So
Mr. It's 3.75.
Great. 0.25 times 15 will be 0.75. Will be 0.75.
Mr. 3.25, not 0.
Sorry. 3.75. So this is the difference between input and output. This is the meaning of input and output. And what is the relationship between them? What is the relationship between them?
Find dependent variable values in a table. Teaching notes. Dita has a coupon for $3.50 off her total movie concession stand purchase. The total cost C is equal to the cost of her purchase P minus $3.50.
Okay, now we have this table. The first column, you have the input. we represent the variable b, and then we have the rule. The rule said b minus 3.50 to get the output, represent the variable c. So when the price now 3.79, so we can write here B means 3.79, so we can write 3.79 minus 3.50, 3.50. This is the rule. This is the rule. Now, how to get C? Find the answer. Find the answer here. We have here 3.79, 3.79 minus 3.50. The answer will be 0.29. The answer will be 0.29. Also here, we have the new input, the second input, 6.24. Use the rule, the relationship. Take the b, put the b 6.24. So here you have 6.24 minus 3.50. This is the rule. Now find the answer to get the output. We have 6.24, 6.24 minus 3.50. The answer will be 2.74. The answer will be 2.74. Now the third input B, we have the value of B now 9.89. 9.89 minus 3.50.
6.39.
Great. So now we have 9.89 minus 3.50. The answer will be 6.30.
The answer is 3.39.
So this is the meaning of the input and the output, and what is the relationship between them? What is the relationship between them?
Find independent variable values in a table. Teaching notes. Suppose it costs 25 cents to play one game at an arcade. The total cost of playing any number of games can be represented by the rule 0.25g, where g is the number of games played. You can use a table to find the independent variable, input, if you know the dependent variable, output, and the rule. Note that in the table below, the output values are $1.75, $3, and $4.25. Because the rule is 0.25g, write and solve an equation to find the input g, when the output is $1.75. The input g multiplied by 0.25 equals the output, $1.75. Divide each side by 0.25. Simplify. The input value is 7. Find in.
Okay, listen now, please. Repeat these processes to complete the table for the other two output values. Here we have the out values, and we want to solve the input values. The out values here we have 3 and 4.25. طيب. Here, the first example here, if the input 7, the rule take 0.25 times 7. You will get the output 1.75. طيب. If I have now the output and I have the rule, how to solve the input? You can do the opposite idea. Take 3 divide by 0.25. We can write here 3 divide by 0.25. So the value here will be what? Will be 12. So means the input here 12. So now 12 times 0.25 will be what? Will be 3. Check. 0.25 times 12 will be what? Will be 3. Will be 3. Now here the same idea. Here the same idea. Take the output 4.25. 4.25 divide by 0.25. 0.25. So the answer will be what? Will be 17. The answer here will be 17. So the value of the input will be 17. The value of the input will be 17.
Teaching notes. Step 2. Find each input. To find the number of pizzas for each of the total costs given in the table, use the work backward strategy. To undo multiplication by 6.75, use the inverse operation to divide each output value by 6.75. Each small pizza at the local pizza shop costs $6.75. The total cost, C, of P small pizzas is equal to 6.75 times P. Make a table to find the number of small pizzas purchased if the total cost is $13.50.
Okay. And now we have this table. We have the first column input. Input here, numbers of pizzas represent P variable. The rule, the numbers of pizza times the price, 6.75. You will get what? The total cost,
Mr.
C, the output, yes?
The input is 2.
Great. طيب. Here we have the output and we have the rule and we want to solve the input. So we can use here divide. Take the output 13.50 divide 6.75. So the answer will be 2. Means the input will be 2. Right. Now we have the output 27 and we have the rule. How to find the input? You have 2 minutes, please. Tell me what is the input here. Start.
Mr. The answer is
Mr.
4.
4.
It's 4.
4.
Great, Muhammad Hamada. I will add to you 5 marks. Great work today. So we have here 27 divide by 6.75. 6.75. So the input will be what? Will be 4. So we can write here 4. Right. The third value, we have the output 33.75. Please solve the input value and tell me the answer. Start, please.
Mr. At 6.
5.
Mr. The answer is 5. 5.
5.
Check with me. We have here 33.75 divide by 6.75.
Mr. Equal.
So the answer will be 5. The answer will be 5. So the input here will be 5. The input here will be 5. Great work for all. Thank you.
Find independent variable values in a table. Teaching notes. Leon is buying chocolate candies in bulk. The candies cost $2.79 per pound. The total cost, C, of P pounds of chocolate candies is equal to $2.79 times P.
Okay. Now here we have the input. Here we have missing values. We have the rule 2.79 times B times input. We will get C, the output. Now we have the C now and we have the rule. How to solve the input? Type. I want from on to tell me what is.
Mr. The answer is 4.
The answer is 4. The answer is 4. 4.
4, Mr.
Okay, fine. Check with me. The output here 11.16. So we can write 11.16. Divide. The rule here 2.79. 2.79. So the answer will be 4. Great for all. Right. Try to find the second value, please.
Mr. Can I answer?
What's your name?
I'm Boti. I'm using my camera's microphone because my headset doesn't have charge.
Okay.
The answer is 8.
The answer is 8. Right. Check with me now. Here we have 22. Point
Mr. It's 8. It's 8.
32 divide by 2.79. So the answer will be 8. Great work, Wati. I will add to you 5 marks.
Sir, can I resolve the last one?
Thank you, Mr.
What's your name?
My name is Khalid.
Yalla Khalid, okay?
Mr. It's equal 12.
12. طيب, check with me now. We have 33.48 divided by 2.79. The answer will be 12. Great work, Khalid. I will add to you 5 marks. Great work. Thank you for all. So the answer will be 12. So this is our lesson today. So we learned today what the meaning of input or independent variables, what the meaning of output or dependent variables, and what is the relationship here, means the rule, the relationship between the two variables, the relationship between the two variables. So let us to take attendance now. بطي.
نعم أستاذ.
محمد علي.
نعم أستاذ.
محمد سالم العامري. حمدان الكعبي. حمدان الكعبي. خالد خليل.
نعم أستاذ، أنا حمد الكعب. نعم مستر.
سعيد محمد.
أستاذ غادر.
طلع اسمه غادر. سعيد محمد. سعيد.
نعم أستاذ.
سلطان علي.
نعم أستاذ.
سلطان غازي. عامر أحمد.
نعم أستاذ.
عبد الله راشد. عبد الله الجابري. عبد الله الحمادي.
نعم مستر.
عبد الله مسعود. عمر الشامسي. عمر أشرف. فلاح.
نعم أستاذ.
محمد أحمد الحمادي. محمد سعيد السريحي.
نعم مستر.
محمد حمادة.
مستر أنا موجود مستر.
مطوع.
نعم أستاذ.
منصور علي.
نعم أستاذ.
اوكي.
أستاذ أنا محمد الحمادي.
موجود محمد؟
نعم أستاذ موجود، بس لأني كنت في الحمام عشان تي ما يعني تأخرت.
Okay, thank you for your listening.
Mister, we have homework.
Yes, inshallah, we have homework.
واجب?
Yes, we have.
Okay.
Okay, this is our video today. Thank you for your listening. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.